Chaos outside isn't the real enemy. It's chaos inside. Think about how many times you've said to yourself, if only life were calmer, I'd finally be at peace. But life never stays calm, does it? Bills arrive, relationships crack, health wavers, and people disappoint you. And when the storm hits, your chest tightens, your thoughts spin, and suddenly it feels like your own mind has turned against you. The cruel truth is this: it's not the storm that breaks you, it's the way you fight it. You overthink, you replay words. You imagine worst-case scenarios until your peace is shredded. You scroll endlessly, hoping to escape. But the weight only grows heavier. Stress steals your sleep. Overthinking steals your joy. And the belief that you must control everything steals your soul. But Buddhism has whispered the same truth for centuries. Suffering doesn't come from the storm itself, but from our clinging, our desperate need for it to be different than it is. The Buddha compared life's trials to arrows. The first arrow is pain. You can't avoid it. The second arrow is our reaction, the overthinking, the rage, the self-blame. That second arrow is optional. What if calm wasn't something you had to chase, but something you could train, like a muscle, like a discipline, like a monk sitting still while the world trembles? Stay with me, because in this journey, I'll show you how to train your mind to stay calm even when life tests you hardest, not by escaping chaos, but by mastering it from within. 1. The nature of the mind, clouds in the sky. Your mind is not the storm, it is the sky behind it. Take a moment to remember the last time your thoughts turned into a hurricane. One harsh word from someone you love, one unexpected bill, one health scare, and suddenly your whole inner world darkened. You thought the storm was you. You thought, I am broken, I am angry, I am failing. But that is the first mistake the mind makes, confusing clouds for the sky. Zen teaches, thoughts are weather, awareness is the sky. A Zen master once took his disciple outside on a stormy day. The sky was heavy with thunderclouds, and the disciple complained, "Master, today the sky is ugly." The master smiled, pointed upward, and asked, "Do the clouds change the nature of the sky?" The disciple was silent. The master continued, "Behind the storm, the sky is always clear. It never leaves, it never breaks. The same is true for you. Your thoughts swirl, but they do not define what you are. Here is the truth: you are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts rise and fall. When we forget this, we suffer. A wave of anger comes and we say, I am angry. A thought of doubt comes and we say, I am weak. But anger is not you. Doubt is not you. These are visitors, passing clouds. Calm begins the moment you stop building a house for every cloud that drifts through. Mini practice. Label the cloud, then let it drift. Next time a thought strikes, pause. Whisper inwardly, anger, fear, doubt. That's it. Do not add my anger or I am afraid. Just call it by its name, the way you might name a passing bird. When you label without clinging, you loosen the chain that ties you to it. Imagine this. Each thought is a leaf floating down a river. You stand at the bank watching. Some leaves are dark, some bright. Some remind you of pain, others of joy. But you don't have to dive in after every leaf. You watch. You breathe. And in that watching, you find the calm riverbed beneath the current. The Buddha once said, just as a mighty rock is unshaken by the wind, so the wise remain unshaken by blame or praise. The rock does not chase the wind. The sky does not chase the clouds. Why should you chase every thought? Your peace is stolen not by the storm itself, but by believing the storm is who you are. Try this small ritual. 1. Sit quietly for 1 minute. 2. Close your eyes and breathe once deeply. 3. When a thought appears, don't fight it. Whisper, cloud. 4. Imagine it drifting across your inner sky. 5. Return to your breath, your sky, your stillness. Repeat this 3 times a day, even for just 1 minute. It may seem simple, but it is revolutionary. Calm is not found by clearing the sky, but by remembering you are bigger than the clouds. The day you truly see this, life changes. You'll still face storms, but instead of being swept away, you'll stand like the sky, vast, unbroken, untouchable. 2. The power of pause. Respond, don't react. A pause is not weakness, it's a hidden strength. How many times have you said something in anger that you wish you could take back? How many nights have you replayed a heated argument in your head, wishing you had stayed silent, wishing you had breathed instead of exploding? The regret that follows an outburst is heavier than the momentary relief of letting it out. We confuse reactivity with strength, but the truth is the opposite. The strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't take the bait. Reacting is easy. Responding is mastery. A Zen monk once lifted a glass of water before his students. He shook it vigorously until the water turned cloudy. "This," he said, "is your mind when you argue, when you defend, when you fight." Then he set the glass down. Slowly the mud sank and the water cleared. "And this," he continued, "is your mind when you allow it to settle. Clarity comes not by effort, but by stillness." Your mind doesn't need more stirring, it needs less. But in a world that provokes us at every corner, rude drivers, harsh bosses, scrolling comments, it feels impossible not to flare up. The truth is, calm isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about giving them enough space to soften. A pause is not denial. A pause is protection, the 3-breath reset, your ritual for not being swept away. 1. Arrive. Feel your feet on the ground. Drop your shoulders 1 inch. Let the jaw unclench. Whisper inwardly, "Here." 2. Allow. Instead of pushing the feeling away, name it simply. Anger is here. Fear is here. Let it exist without building a story. Whisper, "This is here." 3. Align. Ask quietly, what would kindness do in the next minute? Not forever, not in a year, just in the next minute. Then do only that. 3 breaths can save you from 3 days of regret. Buddhism teaches that suffering doesn't come from the spark, it comes from fanning it. The pause is the gap where karma can be rewritten. Instead of lashing out and planting new seeds of anger, you can stop the cycle. You can choose peace even in the middle of the storm. In that gap, you discover your true power, the ability to choose. Think of the Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, facing temptations and fears hurled at him like arrows. He didn't fight back. He didn't run. He simply sat, breathing, unmoved. The arrows turned to flowers. That is the power of pause. It transforms what comes at you into something that cannot wound you. When you pause, you don't lose the battle. You win your freedom. So the next time someone's words sting, before the fire rises to your tongue, stop. Take 3 breaths. Arrive. Allow. Align. Notice how the storm begins to dissolve before it can consume you. Every pause is a seed of wisdom, every breath a chance to be free. The storm outside may not stop, but inside you'll find a space untouched, unshaken, unburned. And from that space, your next step will not be a reaction. You'll walk with intention. 3. Anchoring calm in the body. Your body keeps a score of every storm your mind refuses to release. Have you ever noticed how anger shows up not just in your words but in your chest? How grief doesn't just sit in your heart but in your stomach, twisting like a knot. Stress is not abstract. It's stored. The racing heartbeat at midnight, the shallow breath when the bills arrive, the shoulders that creep toward your ears when someone criticizes you. These are not accidents. They are proof that the body remembers every storm the mind tried to bury. Pain that isn't released becomes pain that rules you. Buddhism teaches that freedom begins with awareness. The Buddha himself pointed to the breath, not wealth, not power, not control over others, as the gateway to liberation. When we forget the breath, the body becomes a battlefield of old wars. But when we return to it, even for a moment, the nervous system shifts. The body moves from fight or flight into rest and digest. Healing begins not in the hospital bed, but in the space between two conscious breaths. Calm isn't found in the world. It's anchored in your body. A Zen story tells of a young monk overwhelmed with fear during a stormy night. He rushed to his master and said, "My heart is pounding. I cannot sleep. I feel as if the storm is inside me." The master placed a hand on his own belly and said, "When the wind howls outside, return here. Breathe with the earth, and the storm will have no place to stay." The boy placed his hand on his belly, matched his breath with his teacher's, and slowly the trembling subsided. The storm outside raged on, but inside there was silence. Your body can be your prison or your temple. When you ignore its signals, the body traps you in anxiety, insomnia, and fatigue. But when you listen, it becomes a temple, a place where storms dissolve into silence. Anchoring calm in the body is not about escaping life. It's about remembering that safety lives inside you no matter what life hurls your way. Practice the anchor ritual. 1. Sit comfortably. Place one hand on your belly and one hand over your heart. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench the jaw. 2. Inhale gently through the nose for a count of 4. Feel the belly rise into your hand. 3. Hold for a soft moment, not straining, just pausing. 4. Exhale slowly through the mouth for a count of 6. Imagine a gray mist leaving. Old stress, unspoken fear, thoughts that never stop. 5. Whisper silently, "Here, now, safe." Let the words land not just in your mind, but in your chest and stomach. Do this for 5 breaths. Notice the first place that softens, perhaps the throat, perhaps the jaw, perhaps the space behind your eyes. That's your body telling you the storm is loosening its grip. Each breath is proof you can choose peace over panic. The more often you practice, the faster the body remembers. A moment of anxiety becomes a cue to anchor, not to spiral. Insomnia becomes an invitation to breathe, not to battle. Conflict becomes a test you can pass, not by shouting louder, but by standing stiller. The storm cannot win if it has nowhere to land. Every time you place your hand on your belly and heart, you remind yourself safety is not out there. It's here, in your own body, in your own breath. The storm may roar, but you don't have to carry it. 4. Training detachment, love without clinging. Calm doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. One of the greatest sources of human suffering is not pain itself, but the refusal to let go. We cling to people, to memories, to expectations, and then we bleed when life inevitably changes. Think of the relationships that still haunt you, the friendship that faded without warning, the partner who left when you thought love was forever, the job or role you once held that no longer belongs to you. These are not just stories in your past. They are chains you drag into the present. The tighter you hold, the more it hurts when life pulls away. A Zen master once took a disciple to a flowing river. "Watch closely," he said. The disciple saw countless drops of water merging, dancing together for a while, then separating downstream. The master asked, "Did the drops stop existing when they parted?" The disciple shook his head. "No, master. They continued on their path." The master smiled. "So too with people in your life. They come together, flow beside you, then depart. It is not their leaving that causes you pain, but your refusal to let them go. Love is not ownership. It is presence without demand. In Buddhism, attachment, upadana, is seen as the root of suffering. It does not mean you should never love or care. It means love becomes poison when you confuse it with possession. True compassion is like sunlight. It shines without asking anything in return. When you cling, you make someone a prisoner. When you release, you honor their path and yours. Clinging is disguised fear. Fear of being alone, fear of change, fear of not being enough. But here's the paradox. Letting go doesn't diminish love. It purifies it. When you stop clinging, love transforms into gratitude, into freedom, into peace. You begin to cherish people not because they're guaranteed to stay, but because they are here now. And now is all that has ever been real. Practice. The gratitude reflection ritual. 1. Sit quietly with pen and paper. Take 3 deep breaths, settling your body. 2. Write down 3 names of people who matter to you today. They may be family, friends, mentors, or even someone who hurt you but taught you something. 3. Next to each name, write 1 sentence of gratitude. For example, "I'm grateful to Anna for teaching me resilience," or "I'm grateful to my father for showing me kindness." 4. Do not write promises of forever. Do not demand they stay. Simply honor that their presence, however long or short, has shaped you. 5. Place your hand over your heart, close your eyes and whisper silently, "Thank you, I release you." Gratitude frees the heart more than clinging ever will. Try this practice for a week. You may cry the first time. You may feel resistance. That's the ego loosening its grip. But soon you will notice something astonishing. Instead of drowning in fear of losing, you will begin to breathe in the joy of having. Instead of being obsessed with permanence, you will savor the miracle of each passing moment. Letting go is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form, because only when your hands are open can you receive new blessings. Only when your heart is unchained can you rest in peace. The river keeps flowing. People will come and people will go. But your calm does not have to follow them. It can remain steady and clear, like the sky above the moving water. 5. Turning tests into teachers. Life isn't punishing you, it's training you. How many nights have you whispered, "Why me?" Maybe when illness hit you at your strongest. Maybe when betrayal came from the one you trusted most. Maybe when loss hollowed your chest. The mind convinces you that life is unfair, that the universe is cruel, that you are singled out for punishment. But Buddhism turns this upside down. Suffering is not proof that you are cursed. It is proof that you are alive and still being trained. The obstacle isn't blocking your path. It is the path. Bodhidharma, the monk who carried Zen to China, told his students, "The obstacle is not the path. The obstacle is the path." He meant that challenges are not interruptions. They are the very furnace where your spirit is refined. Without resistance, there is no strength. Without trials, there is no awakening. Just as a sword must meet fire and hammer before it gleams, so must your heart meet hardship before it shines with clarity. What if every hardship carried a hidden teacher inside it? When anger rises because someone insults you, the teacher is patience. When fear rises because you face uncertainty, the teacher is courage. When loneliness suffocates you at night, the teacher is compassion for yourself and others who suffer in silence. Life's curriculum is never random. Each test appears to reveal the chain you have not yet broken. Pain repeats until it teaches. Have you noticed how the same patterns return? The same type of betrayal, the same type of failure, the same type of fear. It's not because life hates you. It's because the lesson remains unfinished. The Buddha compared the untrained mind to a cart pulled by an ox. It makes ruts in the ground. Unless you steer differently, the cart will keep circling back to the same groove. Practice, lesson, not punishment. 1. When a trial strikes, pause. Place a hand on your chest. Feel the weight of your breath. Whisper inwardly. Lesson, not punishment. Let the words interrupt the old story of victimhood. 2. Ask gently, what is life training in me right now? Don't force the answer. Maybe it's patience. Maybe humility. Maybe the courage to stand alone. 3. Open a journal. Write the hardship at the top of the page. Beneath it write, the hidden teacher is. Complete the sentence. Repeat this for 7 days, even with small annoyances. Over time, you'll see a map of what life is sculpting inside you. Every test you pass plants a seed of freedom. The Zen master Bankei once said, "The unborn mind is never harmed. Storms can strip your wealth, relationships, even health, but they cannot strip your awareness unless you surrender it." When you realize this, hardship shifts from being an enemy to being a mirror. It shows you not what life has taken, but what you still carry within. Strength isn't built in calm waters. It's carved in storms. Think of a tree standing on a mountainside. The harsher the winds, the deeper the roots. You too can root more deeply each time you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What for me?" The test does not shrink when you see it this way, but your capacity to hold it expands. Life is not punishing you, it is preparing you. And the preparation is always for freedom. Freedom from anger, freedom from fear, freedom from the fragile ego that needs the world to obey its script. The next time life throws its hardest weight on your chest, try whispering, "Teacher, I am listening." Because once you meet your test as a teacher, it loses its power to crush you and begins its work of raising you. Life will keep testing you, but every calm breath is proof you cannot be broken. You've seen how storms outside are never the true enemy. The chaos inside is what steals your peace. But now you know, you are the sky, not the storm. Clouds may come, thunder may roar, but the sky remains vast, untouched. That is your true nature. Calm is not escape, it is mastery. Anyone can panic when life explodes. Anyone can drown when the tide rises. But the one who pauses, who breathes, who lets go instead of clinging, this is the one who discovers unshakable power. Calm doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop being ruled by every feeling. That is freedom. Remember the truths you've touched here. You can pause before reacting. You can anchor peace in your breath and body. You can release clinging, love without chains, and even see tests as teachers. Each step is not an escape from life. It is a deeper return to life as it truly is. Roots remain unmoved. When storms rip across the land, it is the tree with deep roots that still stands. Each calm breath, each moment of presence, is a root sinking deeper into strength. One day you will look back and realize, the very storms that once shook you became the winds that made you unshakable. So here is your gentle invitation. Write one word in the comments that describes your calm: peace, stillness, strength, or even just breath. Subscribe for more Buddhist wisdom and share this with someone you know is struggling, because sometimes the kindest gift you can give is not advice, but a path back to calm. Because no matter how hard life tests you, the breath proves again and again, you are unbreakable.